Welcome to Odessa, the Dark Crusade. It is late in the evening, getting on towards morning. So Johanna probably won't stay very long. She's already had an eventful night. Um, Having taken a trip down the sewers, had a bit of a fight with a nasty-ass plague rat, and a celebration with the Nosferatu Primogen, and then returned home for some extensive bathing and scrubbing and getting all of that off of her. And she sent word before she went to bathe to Sister Madeline, asking for her the pleasure of her company and offering to come visit if she was so inclined, or to allow Madeline to visit if she preferred.
And Sister Madeline has. She's accepted the inviting herself. She is willing to, or very willing, looking forward to receiving Joanna at her place.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, about the time that she said she'd be there, Johanna shows up. In her carriage, leaves guards behind at the gate to entertain themselves. More to come in, as Madeline seems to prefer. And goes to the door.
You are greeted tonight at the door by one of the guys you see normally hang around when Madeline's walking around. One of her two bodyguards.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen them enough. You know that this one is called Gerald. He just says "milady" and bids you in, and just like the woman that you sometimes see, he just gets you in, and Madeline just gets up, smiles very broad and very warmly at you, and just say, "Very good, my boy. You can retire, or you can get some sleep. I will be going to sleep soon." And he just nods, smiles, and leaves.
Johanna watches all this a little more curiously than usual. Just kind of, she's very used to servants. She's used to Madeline's servants, but she seems to be paying a little extra attention. Normally, she pretty much has eyes only for Madeline, and this time she's watching the both of them rather intently. But once he leaves, she goes to offer a kiss to either of Madeline's cheeks.
She accepts. She will just say, "So, it's always good to have you here. But I wonder, was there a particular reason you are here tonight?"
And now she's gonna lie. 1 second.
Get that lion! Get that lion!
Are we in one of the dice rollers?
Oh, wait, I am not on Discord at the moment.
Sorry.
No, I'm just start one. That's fine.
Okay. Put in dice roller 1.
Dice roller 1.
Mm-hmm. She is rolling with her full dice pool for once. Hooray! I can't even remember what that is anymore. She has 2 successes.
Madeline has 2 successes. Fender wins.
Johanna just says blithely, "No, I've been in the sewers and I needed something pleasant to cleanse my palate."
Sewers? Ah, a little preparatory scouting work?
Yes. Or Torvald wanted to look. Wanted to see what the terrain was like.
So, you spent time with my student.
I do. I did. She pauses and studies Madeline thoughtfully again.
She smiles warmly. Did the two of you have fun?
In the sewers, I did not think it could be called fun. It was disgusting. And we fought a beast that was more disgusting. But the Nosferatu Primogen took well to him. I think that will be good for him. I'm pleased.
Hmm.
It was valuable, but not fun.
Well, it is all in all good to hear. But I hope I can elate your mind from such things. Perhaps a bit better smelling, better looking.
Considerably. Considerably.
Hmm.
How have you been?
I have been well, thank you. These are
Torvald.
trying.
What'd you say?
These are trying times, but despite this, I am doing well.
She nods, approvingly pleased. She doesn't have that kind of restless shimmer about her that she gets sometimes where she just can't sit still, but she is moving around the room, looking at things, just kind of absently.
I interrupted you before. You said something.
You seem to be having a strong effect on Torvald.
Why? He is a very good student and a worthy one. Everyone is worthy. Everyone is, if they dig deep enough into themselves to receive the teachings I can bring them. But there are some who are honed through years and years, honed to perfection to receive my teachings. And Torvald is one. Yes, it is why I went out on a limb, shall we say. It's risked a lot to gain him as my student. He is a very, very worthy student. And even he can teach me much as my teacher. He has already taught me things.
How do you know a worthy student when you see one?
I thought that should be obvious by now.
I want to hear you say it. I want to hear it in your words.
A slave kept fighting, kept tortured, beaten down, not even having freedom, but surviving, adapting, fighting every day, every second, enduring all that suffering and becoming stronger all the while. That is a worthy student.
Perhaps you would not find me so worthy as you have suggested before. I am pleased that you have found Torvald.
What I offered you was simple teachings. If a student is willing, I will teach them. But you are not as worthy as Torvald. That is true.
She just nods. She doesn't look offended.
My words may be coarse, but in these things I will only speak the truth.
I take no offense. I have lived an entirely different life than he. And I have told you before, I think that your teachings would not serve me so well as perhaps they will him.
Perhaps they will in time. Who cannot tell truly yet whether or not. Or, I suppose it depends on what I would tell you, what I would teach you. But honestly, I would not be. I would like to keep our relationship as it is now. I enjoy your company, your talk. All of
As do
this.
as do I. Have you made your peace with, is it Lady Jean? What's her name? Hang on, let me look up her name real fast.
Julia?
Julia, thank you. Have you made your peace with Lady Julia?
I have not spoken to her since last. I will, however, ask if you were to be lenient. I must admit it was probably my actions that were partly to blame for her misconduct. If you could look lenient on her, that would be a favor to me. Perhaps I can divert this situation before it becomes worse.
She just kind of gestures with the hand. If you ask it, I must. And as you handled it so gracefully, she just shrugs.
Very good. She will not bother you. And I hope to explain to her certain things.
I wish you luck of it.
It is strange, no? Well, that affection between our kind. It seems some of us are so dead and so lost. And yet I feel perhaps not the same, but close to the same passions for certain people that I once did. And those passions rattle the beast quite much as, well, the humors of people in a bar room or celebration that once the same person can get. Well, I suppose it is simply a part that we are still partly human. Well, most of us are.
You're right that they rattle the beast. It is strange. Would you consider yourself a student of philosophy?
To a certain extent.
Mm.
Are we talking Greeks?
No. No. The philosophy of Canaanites. What the beast means is perhaps a little less intellectual than human philosophers, since ours is so strong, powerful in us.
Oh, it is. Is there any particular thing you are thinking of in this regard?
She's going to like in.
There are quite a few things that people have talked about, thought about, written down of the beast among our kind. Here you
Yep.
go again.
You believe her? She says, "No, I'm feeling philosophical tonight. Trying."
What do I think of it? Do I think it is? Well, it is depending on your view whether it is Cain or something else. It is part of that which started all of us. It is what powered them. This being handed down through the generations of our kind. What it is, I do not know. But it seems to be capable of things, even in very young people. Young Cainites seem to be quite potent. Not as much as an elder, of course, but well. It would seem that it is somewhat different from demons. Demons seem to be a separate thing. I think the holy books, shall we say, would tell us that we are demons, but demons seem to be their own entities themselves, evidently.
Yes.
Perhaps it is another entity from somewhere else that is simply tied to us. Tied to us in our existence, tied to another world, tied to another fraction of our
A cousin.
existence.
Do you mean a cousin? Oh my gosh, you know what? I just realized I'm forgetting my dice penalties against the Sombra. Hang on, let me check that. No, it's okay. My
It's
success.
fine. It's not a problem. She will just think for a moment and she'll just say, I have seen certain things that would make me question what exactly the beast is, but there are quite a few opportunities, quite a few possibilities for several other things to manipulate us. Well, have manipulated Cain, or, well, the one who started all of this. You can tell when she says that, there's something in her voice. She's not really hiding it, not towards you. Like, she doesn't seem to be totally taken in by the whole Cain as the first vampire. She
Interesting.
seems
Okay.
to have something a little bit, like, it's not that specific, but when she says something, whatever else started this, she seems to be thinking of something.
Whatever else started this besides King.
if it was kin at all.
You do not think inventing murder was our beginning?
I do not know. All I know is that there are places apparently in this world where the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran are not seen as, well, they are perhaps not even known. And yet, I would think that some of these places there are Kenites. It seems strange, no? Perhaps it is something else that is at the beginning, or perhaps it is both. Who knows? My mm, my road has taught me many things, but there are certain powers that are, well, would be just as capable.
Johanna looks kind of shocked. She's processing slowly. It's a pretty good guess that she's been raised in a setting where the idea that the people who didn't know the existence of the Bible were heathens. Ignorant heathens. It's, she has a hard time stepping away from that, but she's listening hard. Considering. There seem to be many kinds of shadows.
Hmm, quite true.
Watching your clan fight that demon. It was startling. I have a great respect for your shadows.
If I did not know better, I would say you were flattering me.
There were many of you there, and I need not flatter you. The truth is flattery enough. Flowery enough.
You'll notice that the shadows in the room just seem to bend in on you in your shadow, almost like they're hugging you.
Aww. She stiffens for just a minute, and then she, like, looks down at her shadow, which is probably not fucking around as much as usual, and relaxes again.
Oh, it's completely still, but you can't really see it because like all the shadows in the room just seem to, they can't be comforting as you have seen, experienced.
Yes. It is a strange thing to be able to feel comfort in such cold. Is it not?
Why? The fact that we are dead and dying from freezing is no longer a thing we have to be afraid of. Well, I would say that helps a lot.
Yes.
Many people do not feel comfortable because they are freezing, cracking their teeth. That is not a problem for us.
No. Ulrich and I argued at length about what makes a creature human, and whether that held any worth. What do you think?
Well, the intent of the creature is the will, the determination of the person in question is Perhaps not all, but a very important part. If a person dies and says that they are not a monster, and endeavor and try every day not be the beast and try to control it. You might call them monsters, but I would not say they are.
Hmm.
They might fail and become one, sure, but you cannot fault people for fighting.
Is this your road? To fight the beast tooth and nail?
What do you know of the Bahari?
Out of character, what would she know? You said the Bahari?
Yeah, it is like it's vague, it's obscure.
Okay.
Um, yes, I did not think it was that big of a secret. I thought that most people would know by now. Not everyone is particularly happy about it, but just looks at you again. Says, "You know which road I follow, yes?"
No, you have not told me.
The Bahari is a wait. It is another name for the collection of people that follow the same road as I do. We do not advertise. We are somewhat.
What was that last word? We're what?
We're somewhat, and then she paused, discouraged. Some hate us, some hunt us.
Hunt you.
Oh yes.
Why?
Eh, because we do not share certain things with the
Hmm.
people who would see Cain as the father of us all.
She blinks.
Some say that we are unruly. Some say we are unpredictable.
Heretics.
So I follow the road of Lilith, my dark mother, our dark mother, in well, our view.
Hmm. She's a gardener.
She is.
I do not know much of Lilith. I've heard the name. It's a pretty name.
It is.
Hmm. And how does she say you'll defeat your beast?
In a certain sense, to be quite human, but also to embrace the more harsher ways that this world teaches. Destruction, suffering. It is. Do you know why in the Bible there is, in the story of the flood, there is many stories of having to accept things will pass and be destroyed in the same way? If you do not press your limits, if you are not used to pain, you will not
Hmm.
be challenged. Therefore, pain, suffering, the very fundamental thing of existence. So this is a thing we do to each other in different ways. Devotion, love, acts of devotion, acts of kindness are also very important within a family, or even between strangers sometimes. So we do this to each other and to those who wish to teach, creating seeds, nurturing them, feeding them, watching them grow is one thing, and accepting and seeing destruction for what it is. That it is needed to create a new, to accept that as a part of life and a part of existence is important as well.
To accept destruction.
Accept that certain things will be torn down and destroyed, and instead of climbing to it, always climbing to it and damning those who have done it, seek the lesson in it. See that while it might not have been completely inevitable, you can learn from its destruction what you must do better next time. How this lesson strengthens you.
I see. What do you take from this plague? This illness that walks our street.
Certain people who will survive it, I will seek out and see if they will become my students. Mortals. But there will be some that will be very, very worthy if they survive this.
Mortals. You have no beast.
My road is followed by not only kindred, Canaanites. It is followed by mortals. It is followed by. She pauses, looks at you. Quite a few other creatures.
Other creatures. Other creatures.
It is suffice to say that I have met certain other people who are not only human, but much more, who share the love of our Dark Mother.
But you do not mean demons. How strange
No,
you are, Madeline.
no. There are those who think us as demon worshippers. Nonsense, of course.
If anyone but you said of course, I would not believe them. But I can't. I
Well,
must believe it from you.
well, I have been to quite a few meetings with my fellow Bahari, and I have never seen anything like what stalked Margot, apparently. I
I
have
do
seen some other
believe you.
things, but
There are many things in this world that are not what they seem.
quite so. It is kind of. I rarely speak so openly about my role. I should do it. I should not be afraid. I should not be scared. It is not always that people want to speak about it. It's actually rather rare that people want to speak of it. Except for Torvald, of course.
He's also strange. He's also surprised me.
Madeline smiles at you lightly, and she just eyes you, seems to just gauge you for a moment. And I will just roll a thing. When she's talking about wow, 5 successes. When she's speaking about Torvald, what's she feeling like? Is it just like, oh, I like that guy, or what?
Is that read the soul, or is it straight perception empathy?
It's just perception empathy.
She looks thoughtful and she looks confused. Very deeply thoughtful. And there's a just a. I mean, Johanna has a fairly, she's very good at keeping her composure, but there's a little bit of a line of some kind of worry that plagues her. But you can see there's some affection there too. She's not hiding it.
Hmm. Madeline will just look at you and she'll just say, is there anything particular you would have answered with an answer for? We do not need to keep secrets from each other. We do not. If there is something that is on your mind, please ask.
I have many things on my mind.
Undoubtedly. But something regarding me or Torvald or both.
Mm.
Please.
Mm. I do not know quite how to approach him. He approaches me.
You what? Sorry?
She said, I do not know how to approach him, but he approaches me. I hope you will understand as a compliment when I say that if I had not known you, I would not understand him as I think I do.
Does he intrigue you?
Intrigue me, yes. Yes, he intrigues me.
Purely in a personal sense. His motivations, his look on things.
He's more of a poet than he lets on. There are many things about him which are beautiful.
If you desire him, you are welcome to ask him whatever you want. It is really not a problem.
She blinks several times and glances at Madeline with a raised eyebrow. We have known each other some time, Madeline.
Yes,
If I were in the market for desire, I would not go to the gangrel.
hmm.
There's one bed whose invitation has remained open a very long time. And if I were in the market, I would go there first.
Oh, well, I see. When in regards to approaching Torval, if you are confused as to how to speak with him, my suggestion
She's listening intently.
is that you, hmm, well, perhaps my relationship with him is quite different from yours. I've actually not, it comes quite natural when he is around, but I am quite sure that he is a, well, does have a bit of a, not the attitude of a knight per se, but I am quite certain that you would, if you would come across as someone who is in need of being defended, or your honor is defended, needs defending, that he would assist you very well in this.
Yes, I think he would. But he's not foolish.
No, he is not.
I think he is much more canny than he lets on. Much more. Those who walk that fine line, who play the fool without being foolish, those are dangerous people.
That they are.
But you know that I have not been one to shy from danger. And I admire him.
In a certain way, I do as well.
In a certain way. What do you mean, in a certain way?
Well, that was perhaps the wrong word. I also admire him, among other things. What is the right expression?
I'm only more intrigued, Madeline. Among other things.
I also envy him.
Do you? Why do you envy him?
He's a person that I can honestly say that has suffered more than me and has learned more than me. When he was alive, when he was immortal. That is quite something. I learned a lot when I was mortal, but nowhere near what he learned. So in certain ways, he is stronger than me, or perhaps has learned more than me. And of that, I am quite, well, a little bit envious.
I'm glad to know it. I'll enjoy watching you be envious.
Hmm. I, I would wish you good luck in spotting
Now I will know
it.
to look.
Well, there are certain other thoughts that hmm, come to the forefront of my mind when I am with you.
I have seen that as well.
And
You
what
make a pretty pair.
and what would you say my thoughts go to?
I cannot know exactly, but I have seen a strange and fierce joy in you. I have seen What will I call it? I might call it jealousy in a lesser woman. But in you, I think possessiveness, perhaps? There's a fierceness in you around him. It is a pleasure to see. I hope you do not find my words insulting.
No, I do not. I find them true. Truth can be painful, but in this, it is not upsetting or offensive. No.
Good. I've certainly not come to offend you. Sorry, 1 second.
Ellen will just sit there for a moment, think about this, and just, yeah, she would just, you know, she would just sit for a moment without really talking, and she'll just say, so, you found something in the sewers?
Mm. Yes. The Nosferatu truly do battle with our plague bringer. His rats and theirs in the sewers. They fight. They have pets. Rats of their own. And the strangers' rats slay theirs, their competition. I thought to help keep the peace when I went to the Nosferatu, but I found that the pretty lie is very real. I'm pleased.
So this is perhaps why they have been hit the hardest. Their home is no longer truly their home.
Yes. Yes, and I am
Maybe not
pleased
the
that.
hardest, but hit just as hard as us.
Yes. Well said.
And this, my road, I know I'm jumping back and forth.
Please
This is
do.
the, this is the reason I hold a certain affinity for Clan Nosferatu.
Ah, I see.
Quite a few of them have been isolated or, what shall we say, exiled from normal human contact. This has a toll on people, but those who can maintain themselves, keep a strict control of their beast, and persevere, well, that is quite a thing, quite a strength in them. That is why I also, when I was seneschal and when I was maintaining the city for some time, for Ulrich, when he was away, had a rule.
Hmm.
No Nosferatu had to cover up or hide themselves in Elysium. And if anyone was caught berating an Nosferatu for his appearance in an Elysium, they would not be welcome until they have truly apologized in
Hmm.
earnest. It was one of the only rules I had other than the normal rules, of course.
Hmm. Is it effective?
Quite effective. I did not really have to use the rule. Mm, I will say it was not practically necessary, but the statement had to be made nonetheless. And of course, it was also a bit political. This helped to make such a statement to a clan that, well, before I came to Edessa, eliminated quite a large part of my clan, and still harbor quite ill will to us.
Do they?
I believe so. It has been some time, of course, but they did have a war against the Lisambra for the Holy Land a couple of 100 years ago. 100 and some odd years. So at the time, they were, well, they needed dissuasion as well, but honestly, the source of their strength is not something that I think should be hidden. Away from mortals, of course. They cannot face it, and this the silence of the blood is important. So. But
Yes.
in Elysium, I do not see it.
Hmm. We shall see. It's a dangerous friendship I've sought.
That is true. But I would think that your demeanor helps. The fact that you do not look. If you were the very prettiest, most beautiful toreador in the city, I actually think that the Nosferatu would be less inclined to listen to you.
I
They do
think you're
not
right.
seem to like me, for instance, very well, on the
Hmm.
basis of my appearance. Some see it as a mockery to them.
She nods. Hmm. Our plague bringer. He's a Nosferatu. I believe his companion is a Cappadocian. Strange alliance, don't you think?
Well, I would not be too surprised.
No?
Well, could be anyone. This is the doings of a lunatic.
Do you think so? You think he's mad?
Well, Clan Mercavian should make everyone quite aware that even though you are mad, you are quite capable of doing very complicated things and carry out plans that are very elaborate, but from some quite demented and weird reasons.
Hmm. The Seneschal believes that my road, I believe Ulrich as well, is a cruel one. It's not. It's not a road of cruelty.
Oh, I honestly cannot tell. I know a little of your road. And she is lying with 4 successes.
Okay. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, I have my full dice pool. I'm so excited. That's actually 5 successes.
Like, you can tell, like, there is. She, she does seem to, like, it is, like, she is hiding it, but
Mhm.
she does have an opinion. Like, you're quite sure that she has an opinion.
Okay. Yana
So,
pauses and
but,
glances at her.
like, perhaps it's just that she doesn't want to discuss it, or
Mhm.
perhaps there's another reason, or perhaps she's like whatever the reason. But no, you're quite like 5 successes. Like you, maybe she's being polite, or maybe she's just doesn't want to discuss it, or something.
Mhm. Okay. She glances at her for a second, like gives her an opportunity to say something if she wants, and if she doesn't, then she goes on. My point is that someone walking my road might not flinch from plague, might consider it reasonable collateral damage if they were a little mad,
Hmm.
if they thought that there was something of great value to be gained.
Well, we do not know what they know. They might be gaining something very valuable. We cannot truly say, but
I do not know how to say to others that anyone who might believe that this plague, which has been inflicted on our city, might be a reasonable step, a reasonable measure to acquire something that lies in this city. Anyone who thinks that is reasonable must certainly be prevented from having what they seek.
in that we are in total agreement, which is why we soon will do an action against them and hopefully put a dent in their plans or stop it.
Yes. I hope it is a considerable dent.
Madeline looks outside a window and she just says, "Oh, it will not be too long before the sun. You still have time, but you need to get home
Mm.
safely. I do believe you would have to move soon, but
It does grow early. Thank you, Madeline. You have cleansed my palate. Better than I hoped.
I am always here. Well, not always, but I am available to help out in certain things.
I am fortunate, and hope it remains so for a very long time.
Likewise. Please, have a safe trip home.
Yes. Good luck to you, and good sleep.
And Madeline will get up, follow her to the door, hug her, and yeah, the two will, and she will just. Madeline will return to some of her business, but soon she will be in a. Well, she will actually sleep soon. And yeah, is there anything else that Johanna maybe thinks about when she's on her way home?
Oh, she thinks about a great many things on her way home.
All right. With that, we will end our scene. Thank you very much, players, for playing and watchers for watching. Good night.